Good morning. It's been a while. Just thought I'd say a couple things. I've been stuck on a verse in Ether for several days now. I can't quite seem to get off of it. And it's right after the brother of Jared sees the finger of the Lord, and he touches the stones for him. And the Lord says, let's see, well, the brother Jared asked for more, and the Lord says, "Did you see more than this?" And he answered, "No, Lord, show yourself unto me." And the Lord said unto him, "Will you believe the words which I shall speak?" And he answered, "Yea, Lord, I know that you speak the truth, for you are a God of truth and cannot lie." And that's kind of what I've been stuck on is, I know that you speak the truth, for you're a God of truth and cannot lie. And then right after that, it says, "And when he had said these words, behold, the Lord showed himself unto him," unto the brother Jared, "and said, Because you know these things, you are redeemed from the fall. Therefore you are brought back into my presence. Therefore I show myself unto you." So if I'm reading this correctly, he says, because you know these things, meaning that you know that I speak the truth and that I'm a God of truth and cannot lie, you are redeemed from the fall. So go look at that in Ether. See if you come to the same conclusions. I think it's worth really pondering and praying on. Once you know the truth that God is a God of truth and cannot lie, then that qualifies you, then the Lord says, because you know these things, you are redeemed from the fall. Now in Alma 32, we learn to have a knowledge of something. If you know these things, that implies you've had a desire, you've acted on that desire, you've acted in faith, and you come to a knowledge of these things. So to come to an actual knowledge of these things takes faith and work. And you act in faith, and then he rewards your faith with knowledge, right? It becomes a sure knowledge eventually, and even to the point that now you see his face and you know that he comes back into your presence. You come back in his presence. The veil is rent. The veil of unbelief is rent. You're redeemed from the fall because you have an absolute knowledge that he is a God of truth and cannot lie. You know that he speaks the truth. It says the word "know." I know that you speak the truth, for you are a God of truth and cannot lie. And then because you know these things, you are redeemed from the fall. Therefore you are brought back into my presence. Therefore I show myself unto you. That is awesome. So I just wanted to share that. And I can't help, I hate bringing this up again and again, but I feel like the Lord's reaching out to his true disciples that are still in the LDS church. And for some reason, that's my lot in life, I think, is because I was in that organization. It was a beautiful organization, did great things for me because it had a remnant of the teachings of Joseph Smith that we can come back into the presence of the Lord. That's the whole point of everything, not to just go to the temple and symbolically go through that, but actually to rend the veil and come back into the presence of the Lord. That's the real thing. Not being a temple recommend holder or proving that you're going to follow Russell M. Nelson no matter what he says. The real thing is entering into the presence of the Lord. That's the real thing. Knowing the Lord, trusting the Lord, doing his will, acting in faith, to where you have a knowledge that he is a God of truth and speaks the truth and cannot lie. And because you do that, then you'll be redeemed from the fall and come back into his presence. That may require you to recognize a false prophet and let go of a false organization when it's apostatized. I was listening to a talk yesterday, and that was brought up that Abraham is the father of the righteous because he let go of his father. When his father had let go of the religion of the fathers and was in a state of idolatry, following men or anything in place of God, Abraham had the faith to let go of the religion of his earthly father and get back to the religion of the fathers, the patriarchal fathers, Adam, Seth, Melchizedek, Enoch. That was faith, and that's why he's held up as the father of the righteous, the children of Abraham, the children of Israel. That's how we become the children of Israel, is acting in that same type of faith, same level of faith, where we can come back into the presence of the Lord. So I can't help but see that what helped me start to really see that the church had an issue was they were lying. I called the Joe Smith papers and talked to a friend that was working for them, for the church, that is working for them, and said he was familiar with the quotes I shared about Joseph Smith, where Joseph denied polygamy, said he only has one wife, and then he told me that the church's stance is that Joseph taught one thing in secret, or taught one thing in public and did something else in secret, which is called hypocrisy, which is called lying. The God that I worship, the God that all of us worship, is a God of truth. Well, hopefully the God that we worship is a God of truth. If you worship a different God, you're worshiping a false God. The God that I know is a God of truth and cannot lie. When he tells you, you will see his face and know that he is, in Doctrine and Covenants 93:1 and in section 88, verse 68. In John chapter 14, he will come and make his abode with you, and he will introduce the Father to you. I believe him. And when we believe him and when we act in faith, and we know that he is a God of truth and cannot lie, then miracles can happen. Our faith will become sufficient as we act in that truth that rings true in us, and we act on that, and then it becomes more than faith, and it comes in knowledge eventually. And we can also rend the veil of unbelief. So anyways, I would just invite my friends that are still in the church to really consider who God is, and if you are worshiping the God of truth who cannot lie, and invite you to walk in faith. I just feel like you're walking off a precipice when you walk with God. When we truly walk with God, he will require everything of us. So anyways, I think, I love these passages. The Book of Mormon's amazing. It's a handbook on coming back into the presence of the Lord. And life is a handbook on that too, as we learn to trust him, know him, follow him. Thanks.